Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. Confusion continues in William Ruto's government. There are some remarks Ababu Namwamba made, remarks that just exposes the confusion. Sauti TV, the government should shelve the appointment of CASs and instead absorb the 4,000 unemployed doctors and post them in the counties to provide health services to the hustlers. The cost of keeping a CAS is more than Kenya shillings 2.5 million per month. Salary, allowances, office staff, security, etc. This is enough to employ 10 doctors at a salary of Kenya shillings 250,000 per month. Ababu Namwamba sports CS. So Ababu is just saying that one CAS can employ 10 medical doctors at 250,000 Kenya shillings per month. In this video, as usual, I want us to dig deep into this story to unearth the hidden truth Ababu is trying to expose. Before we do that, if you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. Yes. Before we dig deep, let's have a look at some functions of CASs. The commission noted that the functions of chief administrative secretaries will entail responding to issues touching on the portfolio assigned to the office, providing liaison with the National Assembly and Senate, providing liaison with county governments on matters of concurrent mandate and common interests. The chief administrative secretary's mandate will also include providing interministerial sectorial coordination, representing the cabinet secretary at any meeting as instructed by the cabinet secretary, and executing any other duties and responsibilities specifically assigned to the office by the cabinet secretary in furtherance of the interests of the ministry. Those are some of the functions of a CAS. And from those functions, those are functions already being performed by a principal secretary. So this office is just going to duplicate the functions of a principal secretary. And if you look at it keenly, CAS positions were created by Uhuru Kenyatta in 2018. And at that time, it was widely believed that Uhuru Kenyatta created the positions to reward his political allies and close associates. And at that time, the court declared the positions unlawful in that public participation was not done. When William Ruto took over, he re-advertised for the position and showed clear his intention of creating the positions. And we saw Ruto calling for the public to give their views. Some few days ago, Labor and Relations Court declared the posts legal. So Ruto is well within the law by appointing people into the positions. That's the whole story about the CAS. If you dig deeper, it was widely expected when William Ruto took over power that he was going to drop the bad or rather the mistakes and blunders Uhuru Kenyatta made. It was expected Ruto was going to drop the blunders by Uhuru Kenyatta, and he was going to adopt the merits and the successes by Uhuru Kenyatta. But what we are seeing, Ruto is actually dropping the successes by Uhuru Kenyatta and adopting the blunders by Uhuru Kenyatta. It's a fact that these positions are just helping the government, or rather these positions are just increasing the government's wage bill. But the positions are already being done by the principal secretaries. We were expecting that William Ruto's government, because he claims he got an empty treasury, or rather, they have been saying the government is broke. We were expecting Ruto's government to cut on expenditure. But it appears Ruto is interested in increasing government's expenditure. And already, even the principal secretaries, the departments, William Ruto has actually increased them than they were in Uhuru Kenyatta's government. So if you add again the CASs, then you are seeing this is a bloated government. A government far much bigger than Uhuru Kenyatta's government. And at the same time, Ruto and his team are saying that Kenya is at a worse off situation economically. But instead of addressing that bad economic situation, instead of finding a solution, they are adding more problems to it. Yes, let's dig deep, ladies and gentlemen. Ruto is not solving the problem Kenya is in right now. In fact, looking at the measures Ruto is putting in place, those are measures just making things worse than they are. So Ruto is just talking, but he's not putting in place practical mechanisms to address the harsh economic reality Kenyans are going through. And this is why I've always termed Ruto and his team very clueless. And if you look at the people who have been shortlisted for the positions, some are governors, former governors, and very senior personalities. There are no Mama Mboga, no Boda Boda, no hustlers shortlisted. So you are seeing again, these posts are just being created to accommodate William Ruto's close friends and political allies. So the whole narrative that Ruto was going to form a hustlers government, serikali ya Mama Mboga Boda Boda, those were just stories. Ruto cheated and lied to the hustlers. And actually they believed him by voting for him. But now it's clear Ruto was just talking things he never meant. That should be a lesson to the so-called hustlers. That before you elect a leader, look at a leader's track record. If the leader is known to be making empty promises, the leader will still be making empty promises. He will not deliver. In 2013 and in 2017, there were some promises William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta gave Kenyans. Those promises were never kept, never fulfilled. When Ruto was saying when he was campaigning for the presidency, he gave some new promises and he was convincing Kenyans. So the best thing Kenyans ought to have done, they ought to have looked at Ruto's track record in 2013 and in 2017. And in this forum, we used to tell Kenyans that once a leader is a liar, that leader will always be a liar. So it's clear Ruto lied to Kenyans. And even going into the future, Kenyans should now be wiser not to elect lying leaders. Because even come maybe that 2027, he'll be making new promises. Kenyans should reject liars. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. But the remarks by Ababu Namwamba confirms confusion in Ruto's government. Ababu is saying the right thing, but now that he is in Ruto's government, he is supporting William Ruto's presidency. No Kenyan will take him seriously, because if he was serious or if he wanted Kenyans to believe him, the best thing Ababu should do is to resign from William Ruto's government. But making those remarks and is still inside, he is, in fact, is also coming out as confused, a greedy leader. Let's meet in our next analysis. But before I forget, if you want to support our forum, I've pinned my number on the comment section. Contact me through the number, or feel free to channel your support to the number. God bless you.